welcome to the channel. Hope you guys having a fantastic day. Today we're doing technical analysis on another stock that is literally 50 to 60% off the current price, and the stock is definitely not valued at the price that it is right now. And we're going to go through a couple of factors. I'm going to show you a couple of supports that it was before from last few months per se, and last few days, where it is right now, where it could potentially go. And again, the stock is not relatively cheap stock. But however, if the stock worth is, if you could gain $100 or $150 per share and you have some capital, I think this is a great opportunity to be able to capture something. So we're going to go through the stock right now. Before we get into the stock technical analysis, if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. I release video every day. I capture all the hot stocks that are literally cheap, that could actually potentially make you a lot of money. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just what I do, what I buy, what I'd recommend my family and friends. And I thought I'll just put it out there for you guys, whoever could benefit from this information. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. So let me show you guys, before we talk about the technical analysis, the company itself is worth $116 billion company. They do about 20 to 19 million trading. Shares are traded daily on an average, 19 million to 20 million. That's a huge number, okay? And the PE ratio is 28, which is not relatively that bad. A lot of big companies like Apple, Google, they all have a PE of 28, 29. So relatively good company. Let's see what the institutional banks are holding. These institutional banks are the big dogs, like State Street, BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, all the big investment firms. They hold about 75.95% of the stock. So they own literally 75% of the ownership is owned by them. All right. Rest of it is owned by retail investors, which is like people like you and I. All right. So let's look at where the stock is right now. Why is the stock is dipping is because the whole factor that is happening to the market. There's uncertainty in the market and people are taking out the money. PayPal generally itself, it's not affected by, it is affected by, when there's a war, if Russia is there, of course, they have a lot of business there. But again, at the same time, this company has a lot of investment within the U.S. That, this is never going to go to zero. Okay, now we're going to figure out what would be the entry point. That will be the point to figure out. To me, I actually bought a couple of shares, a few days ago. It was $108 at that point, because, for me, going further down was okay. I was going to average it out. So if it goes further down, I'll buy more shares. So this way, at least, everything will be averaging it out. So because the stock itself is definitely worth more than $90, it's the stock itself worth at least 200 and I believe 258, somewhere there. And it did hit a peak of $310, which was in July 23rd, 2021. It did stay there around 300 range, but I think because the time was, people were not shopping and everybody was using PayPal for all the payments and etc. But I think the true value for the stock, I believe, is around 200, and I believe is 231 or $222, right? So stock right now is $99. Let's figure out if it's going to go any further. So I did draw up the support from the previous when it had a decline per se. Let me get rid of this drawing one moment. Let me just go back to the chart here. So back in 2020, it dropped to $83. And then after that, the stock started rising, and the stock is actually, hit the 300 numbers. It started coming back down. Now, there is a support here. Right now, the stock is trending down. And, if you want to wait and see, because right now the RSI, look at the RSI is basically anything below 30, which means the stock is being oversold. Now, the stock, if you see here, for example, the stock started on February 2nd, started dipping, and you see the RSI is just below 30, like 24, 23. You never go to zero because that's not realistic for a big company like this. It is, again, going to the same direction. So I would wait and see whether the stock dips further. If it goes to $81, it would, if it drops from 81 to below, like for example, if you go to 79, the next stop should be at $68. Now, again, to me, I think it is a buy, even if it reaches like, let's say $90 or $80 or somewhere there, because again, this is a temporary discount per se. When the market revives, when the fear is gone with the bond rates increasing and inflation coming into control, the market will revive, right? So now the way you got to think about this is like this, right? So right now, market is down. Okay. Now, if you have the capital, a lot of people would not buy a dip. They would think that, okay, the stock might go out of business or something like that. But you got to look at the big companies. They're well name, like they're established names. Okay. You cannot go for a stock that launched, like, let's say 2020, launched at $100 and now is like 85 cents. It's only a year worth, a year or 2 year old company. You don't know much about it. They don't have much capital. They don't have earnings per share. They don't have a PE established. So but PayPal has been around for ages now. And the company is worth, at least the stock does worth $200, as we noticed. $200 was the stock from last few I don't know, it was like few months. It stayed at $200. Okay, so now RSI is still going down. So as I said, if it goes below $80, it's going to go to 68. If it doesn't go below $80, if it hovers around 80, I think it's a good buy. MACD is also signaling that the stock is slightly picking it up, but we'll have to see on Monday what happens. But I think I just want to bring this to your attention. If you guys are if there is some capital that you have that you could at least get a few shares of this stock. And by Monday, you see where the price fluctuate. If it goes below $90, I mean, I bought it at $108. So for me, that was also not that bad, right? So I'm gonna still wait and see if it goes any further, buy a couple of more shares, and this way I will average it out, right? Have the quantity and divided by the price, so I could get an average price on that. Right now, the moving averages, if you guys notice, the long-term moving averages, 200 moving averages used by big investors. The 200 period, the moving average, it's $230. So in a moving average means that average from last 200 days, they think the price has dropped $230. Last 50 days, price has dropped to 150 as an average. Last 20 is 111, right? So even the moving average is well above the 94 mark. Okay. So again, this is my opinion. I think this is definitely a buy if you have, if somebody want to get 2 or 3 shares, for example, they don't have much capital. Once this stock revives, you'll be able to double that profit. So again, it's not a financial advice. This is something I recommend to my family and friends, and I thought I'll put it out there for you guys if anybody's interested in the entry point. So anything goes below 80, the next stop is 68, and if it started going up again, I would definitely consider that stock. But right now the RSI shows the stock might even further dip because it is below 30. But you guys would have to see it on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Next week you might want to watch the whole daily chart for next week and see where the stock goes from there. So, but yeah, if you like this video, you found anything informative, please do subscribe to the channel. I'll be making more videos on stock that are on discounted price. So thank you.